thought I heard you, or was it just the wind? I thought I saw it, or was it all a dream?
Greetings, true believers, and welcome to our one-shot Daredevil Empire City. And what I would like to tell you before we get into the narrative of this, a dark, dirty version of Marvel's foray into a dark, dirty New York, I would like to tell you some happy things. The happy things, this is for charity. So if you would, you will see the donation below where I'm currently speaking. It is just one. For every donation that is put in, one of our characters will be able to be more super heroic. However, if we reach certain thresholds, say every $50, I will make the current tier of enemies that this group faces one tier higher. Who is in play? I don't know. We would have to see. Perhaps it rhymes with Schmuggernaut. I don't know. I am merely your narrator as we judge our way through the old Marvel Superheroes RPG from the late 80s and early 90s. But where are we, you ask? Well, true believers, I'm here to provide you with the answer. And that answer, we are currently in New York City. And what is occurring here in the city that never sleeps, Empire City? A blizzard is happening. One of epic proportions, one that is so vast and so great that has swept up the East Coast that it has choked the city that never sleeps, casting it into a lethargic state. The National Guard, too slow to react, and the city, county, and state of New York, stretched thin with their social services. And as the National Guard fights through the outer boroughs trying to get to the city proper, we instead have an aisle devoid of the heroes it is normally choked with. Where are the Avengers? Perhaps they are on some mission at a far-off planet. Where are the other street-level heroes? Who's to say? It seems that on this night, in this particular time, only 5 heroes walk the streets or fly above them. And it is those 5 to whom we turn our attention this session. But where are we in the world of Marvel, you say? Well, this is a pre-internet world. This is a world that relies on its information, fake or otherwise, from the Daily Bugle. And as the Daily Bugle provides its information in the print form of media, radio and television still hold a powerful sway over the general citizenry. But how does the general citizenry feel? What is the current climate of Marvel's America? It is a pitched battle, my friends. A pitched battle between racism, isn't it always? Here, the anti-mutant rhetoric is reaching a fever pitch. The X-Men, the glorious band of mutant heroes, are a myth. They're not celebrated. Mutants themselves are feared, reviled. They are the other. They are the direction and the target at the end of many congresspersons' fingers as they say that's the problem with America. This mutie epidemic. And so, as we see this fevered climate, this fire and brimstone set against a blizzard, the width of the spectrum is not lost. But the problems of America, Marvel's America, cannot be solved, not even by heroes, but perhaps the problems of this night in the city that never sleeps, that is currently slumbering. Perhaps these 5 can make a difference. And so we turn our attention to Hell's Kitchen. It's the west side of New York City, on the Isle of Manhattan, close to the Broadway, close to Times Square, close to where everyone that wants to be a New Yorker thinks of New York. But Hell's Kitchen is a place that true New Yorkers know. It is a place that is decidedly neighborly when it wants to be, but it is in the shadows most of the time. But they have a guardian, not an angel, but a guardian devil. And it is to this devil that we now turn our attention as we bring in Matthew Murdock. And so, Daredevil, as you stand above the city that you know, this city of Hell's Kitchen, this city that needs you more than it will care to admit, you do not see it, but you hear it, the loving embrace and the appreciation in every atom. But you are here because you've heard something decidedly different. And in a particular stretch of your Hell's Kitchen, in the area between 43rd Street, between 10th and 11th Avenue, you heard a cry go out. You were blocks away. But as you descend upon this scene, this street blanketed in snow, with emergency vehicles rocketing along the larger avenues of 10th and 11th, you see that there is a door open onto not a brownstone per se, but a townhouse of a higher quality here in Hell's Kitchen. And there's a body lying in front, draped over the railing of the stone steps. And even though someone that sees the body might rush to aid because you can hear heartbeats, you know that this body has none. Welcome to Empire City, Matthew Murdock. This is your residence. What will you do?
Matt Murdock is crouched over, his arms draped around his knees from where he sits perched at the edge of a fire escape, nearby alleyway. He's cocked his head to the side. He's listening for sirens, listening for the screams of recognition from someone who might have heard what happened, or from someone who recognizes this body without a heartbeat.
You seem to be alone. Nothing else pings.
He waits until the traffic of the street dies down, and he loosens his arms, grips the edge of the fire escape, and pushes down, dropping a story to the street below, scurrying across the street between the shadows to move as quickly as he can to reach the open door, trying to stay out of view in case there's anyone approaching. He will keep his head cocked and try to stay very aware in case this was a murder, as it often is in the city. And there might be men with guns or other weapons or other dangerous nearby.
All right, as you drop down, something that you've done hundreds of times before and something that in this system does not require a roll, I will ask you to roll an intuition roll as your senses reach out, senses that are much greater than the average citizens. And You look to see if there's something beyond the visible. As you creep forward, again, not the vital signs, the breath, the heartbeat, nothing pinging in the area as a threat. But as you get forward, even with the door open a bit, your senses reach inside like a radar that pulls and waves. It's not hindered by structures, dulled perhaps, but not hindered by. And as it beats, you realize that against this particular building, your senses stop at the exterior, except where the door is open. And then they're able to kind of bleed in this echo beat. And with one of the beats, as it goes in and sort of brushes and illuminates in a 3D display in your mind, you see that there is emblazoned upon the wall a relief that sticks out, and it simply says "Shield."
Has Daredevil heard of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Has he worked with them or interacted with them?
Daredevil, maybe not. Matt Murdock? Probably. As Murdock would have been privy to legal information that would have come from either the district attorney or perhaps somebody on the opposite side of the court who would have had information that came from this government agency. Military doesn't seem that way. Perhaps some type of covert operations. It would lean more towards that bent. So he would have a working knowledge of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He kneels down in the open doorway over the body, turning his head once more, listening for footsteps, always expecting footsteps. If he doesn't hear any, then he would lean down over the body on the side of the cross and slide his hands over the figure's eyes. And as he does so, he's letting his sensory of touch, tell him anything about this person that he might get now that he's close.
You don't see anything. I mean, you can distinguish features. The problem with your radar sense is that anything that is imprinted upon a two-dimensional surface is difficult unless it's ridged. And so with the identification that is inside this person's pocket, you can't make it out. It's laminated or it's sealed in something. You do, however, find a pair of dog tags, but you're unsure as to, as you read the ridges, it seems that one side has been bent inwards, and it's at that time, whether you touch it or not, you realize that a bullet has passed through one of these tags.
He runs the dog tags through his forefinger and his thumb, not able, I'm guessing he can't tell what's written on them. It's destroyed by the bullet.
You get the following. You see that there is a... You're pretty sure it's a first name, and as you feel it, it says Rebecca.
That name hits him in the stomach. He always assumes the worst, but he doesn't stay there any longer. He takes the dog tags and he wraps the chain around his neck. He stuffs the dog tags into his shirt, and then he whips out his billy club, extends it to its full length, and steps cautiously into the building through the open door and towards that relief.
And just as you are stepping inside, a heartbeat you do hear. As we cut to a block up the street, as private investigator, reluctant hero, one Jessica Jones descends upon this particular block of Hell's Kitchen. Coincidence and convenience? Fate cares little for those terms. Instead, fate simply dictates. Jessica, you are here because you are currently engaged in a missing persons case brought to you by a member of the neighborhood that knows you to be an insufferable bitch, but also very good at your job. Welcome to Empire City, Jessica. What do you do?
Jessica's going to take a look around. This was the one lead in this direction she's gotten. Kind of scope out what's up and down the streets. She's got her camera on hand just in case she needs it. How close is she able to see that building where Daredevil headed into, or is that too far out?
Go ahead and roll me an intuition check as we see exactly what Jessica does see.
All right.
Great. So as you look around and as you take in the area, you see much the same as the narrative that was given to Daredevil. It's a calm street. It is unbroken by the snow. The cross streets have been limited to a specific number to aid in the direction of emergency vehicles. The avenues have been kept clear, but this particular street of 43rd has not been cleared or plowed, as any and all resources are being diverted to keep emergency routes open. So as you break through this snow, probably about mid-shin as it stands right now, but dropping at a rapid rate. There was a dusting about 90 minutes ago. So as you cross into this area and look around, you see no one. However, when you notice the destination on this block, you see a body draped over the steps and the railing, and you see broken snow leading up to that body.
Okay. She's going to dig into her jacket for a moment, take a swig off of the bottle in the brown bag in her jacket to keep warm, and trudge on through the snow as quick as she can to get over there and check out the body.
As you get over there, you see that this body is in a state of... it's unceremonial. There is snow collecting on it. It'll soon be just another bump in New York. But you kneel down and you see that the body has not been disturbed per se, but there is snow that has been dusted off of certain areas where it's collected heavier on other raised points. The body is yours to look at. Do you wish to search it?
Sure.
It takes you
Dust
little
it
time.
off.
Yeah, it takes you little time to reveal a placard of identification and a sealed and laminated badge denoting military affiliation for one Rebecca Watson.
Shit. She's gonna take those and start taking pictures of the body.
And as you begin to clip and take pictures of this fallen soldier, we're going to cut to a bit up the street, coming from the opposite direction along the river, as a young woman has been gifted with a very important task. Catherine Kitty Pryde, Junior X-Men. Something that Kitty would very much like to remove is the junior in front of the title she prefers. And it is just happenstance, just fate, just destiny that sees our young Shadowcat as she trudges through the snow. Maybe not. Perhaps walks atop it whenever anyone isn't looking. But she has been given a great and an important mission. It seems that there was a mutant who was brought into protective custody by S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D., not knowing what to do at this particular time in America's Marvel history, contacted the teacher known as Professor Charles Xavier. He has a long and prominent track record with taking care of these mutants. They don't seem to bother anyone as soon as they go to Graymalkin Lane. And so they contacted him, and the only operative that was in the city was Kitty. And so Kitty was given the following task: find the boy, bring him home. Kitty, welcome to Empire City.
A little cold today, but you know, other things to worry about right now. So she's just heading towards her destination. She's a little nervous. She kind of keeps like repeating to herself, "Hi, I'm Kitty Pryde, and I'm a representative of Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters." No, that was awful. I'm gonna do that better. Okay. Hi, I'm Shadowcat, and I'm a representative of Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. Oh, should I go with Kitty Pryde or Shadowcat? She's just kind of walking along, pep talking herself, getting ready to hopefully make a good impression upon arrival at the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility.
Fantastic. So as you're creeping forward, I would like you two to roll an intuition roll.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so as your pep talk and as you are listening, you know, trying to psych yourself up, getting ready for this important task that was gifted to you, you don't notice the body being covered by snow, nor do you notice the black leather-clad woman who is kneeling down and taking pictures until you're almost on top of both. And just as your eyes kind of go wide at the revelation that there's not only a woman in your proximity, but a dead person in your proximity, we are going to cut away as S.H.I.E.L.D. has somebody that they needed to bring in, and they don't have anyone in this facility. There's only one person left on the island. He's a bit of a rock star. Dr. Reed Richards was contacted by S.H.I.E.L.D. because the U.S. government and Dr. Richards have a long history of cooperative exchange, whether it be information or technology or political favors. And so at this particular moment on the Isle of Manhattan, all of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that could respond to this problem in Hell's Kitchen are either being diverted because of the blizzard or are unavailable. And so the call went out to Dr. Richards. Dr. Richards, of course, is a world-renowned intellect. He is also the leader of the Fantastic Four. However, at this particular moment, the Fantastic Four, or at least 3 of them, and a half, if you count Franklin Richards, are not on the island. Reed is here by himself. And the Baxter Building, the bastion of his intellect, the invention to end all inventions, is currently undergoing one of its quintannual upgrades. Therefore, the secrets and the joys and the treasures inside the Baxter Building are unavailable to Mr. Fantastic. But Mr. Fantastic, Time Magazine's current Man of the Year, moves towards Hell's Kitchen, and as he breaks through the snow, entering from the Midtown area, I will simply ask this resident of Empire City, what will you do?
I approach this S.H.I.E.L.D. facility where I have been many times before, and I am stretching my way through the city from the Baxter Building, using my elongated legs to take 3 or 4 steps to cover many, many blocks. And I come down to in front of the S.H.I.E.L.D. door, and I, of course, know the secret code to get in, which has been supplied to me by Nick Fury. So I approach the door and begin to enter the codes to enter the facility.
Upon dropping, roll me an intuition check as you are coming from your elevated stilt-like position and lowering on your elongated legs into the area. As you descend, Dr. Richards, you see that there, on the outside at least, are 3 people. One of them appears to be either hurt or deceased. There is a woman taking pictures and a younger woman staring at both the corpse and the woman taking pictures. With that intuition roll, you also notice that the door that you were ready to enter the code to is already open. And as you are lowering onto the street, both the young woman and the woman taking pictures turn to witness one of the more spectacular sights of New York City, the arrival of Mr. Fantastic. And as you lower and the 3 of you, Jessica Jones, Kitty Pryde, and Reed Richards, look at one another here at the street, it is above the street that we now turn our attention as Peter Parker needs to get some pictures. And so flying through the snow, whipping across buildings, landing and jumping and springing, Peter Parker, everybody's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, at least that's what he likes to call himself. The Daily Bugle at this time has another name for him, Menace. But, as fate and destiny would have it, our web-slinger, our neighborhood Spider-Man is employed by the very same Daily Bugle. And as a junior photographer, and the only one currently active in the city, Triple J has sent him to this section of Hell's Kitchen because it just came across the wire that there were shots fired. There was a problem. Police weren't going to get there, but by God, the Daily Bugle would. As you leave the pit and the pen of the Daily Bugle just moments before, it was a maelstrom of chaos as Jameson pointed, chomping around his cigar. I want every bit of information in this place. I want the Isle of Manhattan. All right, get out there. I want the history of New York's blizzard to go through the Daily Bugle. And he turns to the meteorology desk. And if you can pin this blizzard on Spider-Man, a week's bonus pay for you. And as the spit-filled cigar goes back between clenched teeth, we cut to 5 minutes later when soaring through the air on webs of incredible industry is none other than Spider-Man. And welcome, Peter Parker, to Empire City. But as you are coming in from the sky and whipping in above the area, I will simply ask you to roll an intuition check to see what it is that you see as you land in front of the building.
Yeah, he's probably talking to himself right now. Stupid Jonah, making me coming out here unless, oh, it's so cold. Oh, I gotta get Spider-Man. I'm gonna, oh.
Awesome. So as you come into the area, you see that surrounding you is in fact a scene of quiet. You see a scene of, by the way, with that donation there, we just got a really interesting tier up for the first confrontation. Thank you, Oz. And as Spider-Man, you come into the area, you see Reed Richards. You see a dark-haired woman taking pictures, and you see a young girl, a very odd three-piece band standing over a song that is already played as a fallen woman seems to be covered in snow. As Spider-Man, you touch down on the streets up to your shins in the snow that has been causing you so much grief. But as you land, let's bring in our team. Or it won't work. There we go. So welcome in, everybody, as you are all currently either just inside or just outside this SHIELD facility. Narratively, you have been placed where you need to be. Kitty, you are standing at the bottom of the steps looking at Jessica Jones, who is taking pictures of a body. Mr. Fantastic, you have just come down from your elevated stilt traveling across Manhattan. You are now at street level, and Spider-Man, Menace, Hero, has just landed in the area, while Daredevil is just inside the door. You are 5 very unique individuals on a very unique stretch of land. But I still have to ask, what will you do?
Well, as soon as Kitty noticed Jessica Jones and then looked down and saw that there was a body, she's going to be like, did you?
Jessica's going to turn and look at her after snapping one last photo. No. What? Who the hell are you?
Why is there a body here?
Good question. I was trying to figure that out.
Are you with the police?
No. Private investigator. Who the heck are you?
Oh, hi. I'm Kitty Pryde, and I'm a representative from Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters.
Her eyebrows just kind of continue to climb toward her hairline, unimpressed the whole time. Okay. Great. She goes back to taking pictures because she needs to get a few more.
And I imagine at this point, Mr. Fantastic comes down, and Kitty's just like,
As these two ladies are talking, Reed Richards appears and says, citizens, stand back, I'll take it from here. I'm a special agent sent here by S.H.I.E.L.D., and this is a secure facility. You should step aside, please.
Mr. Fantastic.
Hey, Reed! Reed, it's me! Reed.
Ah, Spidey! He waves at Spidey. Come on down and help me clear these bystanders away.
I mean,
I have to go inside the facility.
You're with, excuse me, you said you were with S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Well, I'm here on behalf of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Hi, I'm Kitty
wait.
Pryde, Representative Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. I'm supposed to meet with people from S.H.I.E.L.D. here today.
Is there like some sort of freak party going on here today or what?
Wow.
No one here is a freak.
Why are we all
Okay.
here? What are you guys doing here?
I'm on a case.
Spider-Man sees the body. Oh, man.
Yeah, you're a little too late.
Daredevil steps out from inside the house, like through the open doorway, head down. We should all get off the street.
Now, is this how Daredevil looks when he teamed up with Spider-Man?
Yeah.
No, he had more of a body armor suit on before. Right now, this looks like a stripped down version of him, but you'd probably still recognize him.
DD, is that you?
Yes, yeah, it's me. Come on, get inside before people see you.
Got a point.
Wait, inside. I'm not sure you're allowed in there.
Would you rather stand out here in the snow and freeze your ass off?
Well, if you all insist on helping, please follow me into the facility.
Okay.
I could take the, I could do a little recon up above.
I've seen you in the Daily Bugle.
Yeah. Yeah, don't believe all that. That's not accurate.
There's a lot of, they say a lot of things about you. Like that you're a menace.
Oh, not true. I'm a really lovable guy. Once you get to know me.
Great.
Well-
Jessica goes inside.
Well,
I guess we'll have to become friends then.
I don't
so.
think she likes me.
I don't think she likes me either.
You're both right. Good job.
Oh, that kind of hurt.
We should probably follow Mr. Richards. She'll go inside.
The Spider-Man will jump in, but he'll take to the ceiling when he gets in there.
Okay. As you all walk into the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility and the various states in which you sensorially bring in information, you see that the entire place seems to have been tossed for lack of a better word. File cabinets have been thrown about. There's paper everywhere. There's the wet tromp of melted snow leaving puddles against some of the higher folders in this mass of confusion and chaos. And the odd thing, though, considering that there was a greeting with a body, you are not greeted again on the inside with any additional bodies. It seems that this area, while a mess with inanimate objects, is free of the biological. And as you look through this area, you see computers ancient computers with deep monitors that seem to have been deliberately smashed, yet a couple of them still flicker. Shield has been attacked, and whatever was taken from here, it cost someone their life.
Reed stretches forward and sees if there is anything about the computer that can be repaired, to see if he can find any information in the computer as to if the surveillance systems still have recordings of what may have happened.
Make a reason check for me, and this will also be done with a column shift of 2 as your hyper intelligence comes into play here, as Reed kind of bleeds down into the area.
Hey, Reed, if you need any help, buddy, I'm always here. I'm always here.
Reed, as soon as you sit down and you pull up, it takes you just a few moments to repair what looks like a shattered computer terminal. But as you move and get it moving, you see that there's information there, protected informant files, ones that are currently being investigated and acted upon by both the federal government and local authorities, people that are in protective custody, some of them just peripheral FBI protective custody or New York City police custody or even SHIELD custody. And you see that these names have been copied and removed from this computer. And as you're also looking through, you recover what looks like a list of known mutants among this group. And the rest of you, as you look around without the need for an intuition roll, you see spray painted along the hallways of this fine, if somewhat Spartan facility, get out of the kitchen. The kitchen ain't for muties. And it's various forms of racist slang spray painted or carved through the hallways back into the dormitory rooms and kitchen.
Well, this is going to be a big cleanup, Bill.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Everyone stay close and don't touch anything. I think there's some definite signs of hate attacks against powered peoples.
No.
Wow, you're smarter than I thought.
Murdoch
How long did it take you to figure that out?
Right as this conversation is going on, he's just said, "Don't touch anything." Murdoch pulls down that relief that he sensed earlier.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually looking for someone who is a victim of a hate crime. They were supposed to be here, and I was supposed to take them to the school I represent. Do you see anything maybe in those files you're looking at about? His name's Connor Burton.
Indeed. And is that name on the list that I have?
It is. It is the last entered by date of modification or date modified. You see that it was the most recent entry into the protected case files, protected by the entity known as SHIELD, and also registered as a known mutant. There's a picture of a boy that looks to be about 8 years old.
Young lady, the name you spoke is indeed on this list, and you see you're a representative from Charles Xavier?
Yeah, Yes, Charles Xavier, School for Gifted Youngsters, yes.
I've dealt with him before. Excellent. Well, do you recognize any of the other names on this list?
I'll take a peek.
A couple of them ping.
A couple of them.
Several of them are students at the School for Gifted Youngsters.
Uh-huh. Like, oh.
Jessica's gonna look at Kitty and just like, you see a Rebecca Becky Watson on there?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Got to be more than a coincidence.
Daredevil pulls out the dog tags that he'd stuffed under his shirt. That he felt the name Rebecca. He holds them out for Jessica. Is this Watson? This match?
Yeah. That's gonna be great news to bring home to her mom.
She a friend of yours?
No, she's kind of a bitch. She thinks I'm a bitch. So, but she paid.
Listen, I don't think a normal hate group could do something like this, not to shield. Somebody's got to be giving them resources. Somebody powerful. Any sign, he listens again. Does he pick up like anything that seems off? Any other, you said before there was another heartbeat and he thought at first maybe it was Jessica's. Does he sense anybody else here?
Roll me another intuition check.
Yes, I can. I'm going to use one of my rerolls on that.
Go right ahead. The Legion is being magnificent and giving us many rerolls. So, with your monstrous senses, as you reach out, you of course get the pings coming from the people that are around you, and you kind of automatically categorize their distinct pattern and beat and sounds that come off of them, kind of mentally keeping them pinned and marked if you ever hear them in the future. A couple interesting things with that level of intuition. Reed sounds weird. It almost sounds as if he's muffled, as if his body creates a denser reed for your normal abilities. Jessica and Spider-Man, they come across as having a regular pump to their veins, a regular respiration. The young girl, though, she seems odd as well. Almost as if her readings are very, very faint. But beyond them, there's a background noise, but it's not the city, but you're not sure what it is.
When he pulled down that relief, did he open up in anything? If he pulls down again, does he trigger anything?
Onto the placard, you mean? Onto the relief?
Yeah.
When it moves again, you see that it is actually the top of a door frame, and it pops open, revealing a separate area. Again, your senses could not reach past the construction materials used in whatever this door or portal was. It's as if this place were Daredevil proofed. But you have revealed a new door to a new area.
Mr. Fantastic. Do you know this
step
place?
away from that portal.
Well,
You don't have authorization to even be here. By all rights, I should kick you out, but you seem to be...
He's a good guy, Reed. Trust me, buddy.
All right, I'll take Spidey's word on this. I've known him quite some time.
after you.
And Reed opens the portal and starts to stretch through.
This
What
might
do
not be a good idea, guys.
What do you stretch through first?
I'm I'm just standing there, and I send my head in with on a long, snaky neck.
Okay, so as you snake into the room, there is a low flicker of light from a bank of untouched computers. And as you look at the ancient readouts on these computers are all green wire lined and framed, as if the computers themselves are several years old. They don't hold color or the quality of a monitor you could go and buy right now, but they are active and the area is free of dust. And as you look, you see names and files that are kind of emblazoned on each of these screens. You see a one named individual, Logan. You see Scott Summers, several others that are identified the more that you read down as mutants. And when you look around and read through this area, you also come across a table that seems to have been set for the presentation of an action or an authority, a police movement, as splayed in black and white photography are various candid shots of Wilson Fisk, otherwise known as the Kingpin. And also spread along this table, it says, notes, he's after the mutants. What does he want with the mutants?
And do these look like notes left by the SHIELD staff that was here before?
Everything seems to be on SHIELD letterhead.
All right.
For the most part. I mean, some notes are kind of scribbled onto what would be the equivalent of a Post-it note and kind of paper clipped to certain things, but the majority of the stuff holds SHIELD letterhead.
All right. Reed walks into the room and catches up with his head, turns and beckons to Kitty and says, "Young lady, there's name of some of the mutants that associate with Charles Xavier in here. Could you come in?"
Oh, sure. Of course, Mr. Fantastic.
As a matter of fact, the rest of you, join us in here.
Okay, Reed.
All right.
Scott, that's Professor so-and-so.
When you all walk inside, Kitty, you recognize basically 90% of the names that are displayed on these wireframe computers. Everyone else, roll me an intuition check, as there is a lot more collected and organized information in this room. Jessica, you're the first to notice when you come in and start looking at this area that by where Wilson Fisk's candid pictures are, you see there is a copy of a deed of sale for a building that backs up to this one on the block over on 44th Street. It was purchased under a dummy corporation that was traced to Wilson Fisk. It seems that the Kingpin had plans for the building, but what they were, unknown. You also see that as you're looking through there, Jessica, Spider-Man comes up and begins to identify certain aspects of it as well. And Spider-Man, as you are looking at the table beside Jessica, you see that there was an action planned for tonight where they were going to raid Fisk Tower.
They were going after the bowling ball. They want to get him, DD. It's Fisk. And they're planning to do this tonight.
He bought a building that backed up to this place. Deed's right here.
They knew about the building. He knew they were coming.
Oh man, this could be bad.
We check it out?
Yes.
Absolutely.
We're here.
Well, as I find myself without my team, it seems I'm going to need some support. Some of you I know, and you must be none other than Jessica Jones. You couldn't be anyone else.
What makes you say that?
Well, I've read about you, and I've heard about you, and I've read your shield file.
Damn, you're smart.
Okay, that's really nosy.
She'll have a file on me.
Go look through the computer.
Roll me a reason check, Kitty, as you
Sure.
try to pull up yourself. You're
do.
Googling yourself before
I'm
Google.
Googling. She totally would Google herself.
Catherine Kitty Pryde is a ghost. No mention whatsoever of Shadowcat, Sprite, Ariel. No one that matches your description or alias.
I'll just click out and be like, I mean, this is terrible. This is awful. We should definitely investigate. We have to find Connor. Don't know why.
Are you sure you're going to be able to do this, Kitty?
What do you mean?
I mean, well, DD, I know what he can do. And I've heard about Jessica. And I know what Mr. Fantastic can do, but you're just a regular girl, right?
Not exactly.
Are you a mutant?
Baby?
Oh.
Yes. But I can do this. And I sink into the floor.
Whoa. She's a ghost. She's a ghost.
Okay, that's weird.
That is really weird.
It's very weird, but we should go.
Reed.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You're only the second mutant I've met.
Hi, it's
Maybe
nice
the
to
third.
meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
How are you not a mutant? You're climbing all over the walls.
Oh, I was bitten by a spider. That's all.
Spider bites can do that? Divine more bug spray.
This one did. He
Okay.
kind of jumps up on the wall.
So I will ask you then, newly formed Defenders of Manhattan,
Oh, we need a team name.
where are you going?
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Hornhead, Stretchy, Ghosty, Wall Crawly.
Actually,
Woman.
if we're gonna use our superhero name,
Don't.
That's
Just
a good name.
We
don't.
should talk and walk at the very least.
Let's go.
Sounded
we're
better
gonna
in my
use
head. That
superhero
sounded so
She
much
starts
better in my head.
walking.
It sounded so much better in my head.
I'm Shadowcat.
Ooh. I'm Spidey.
I am gifting the Jessica Jones eye roll.
You're welcome.
Does not like me. Why does she not like me?
All right, so where are you all headed?
Daredevil will head back out to the street where he can hear better, and he's going to start listening and trying to find that other building. You said it backs up to this one, right?
You are quickly able to do so, and without the roll required, because this is, as you kind of jump and leap to climb up and get to a building using your billy club and the extension cable, you hear a very familiar thum, 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 thum. And you know that it is the heartbeat of one Wilson Fisk, and it is in the building just behind the shield facility.
He'll lower himself back down to the street level, dropping right next to Jessica and to Richards and the others if they're out. He'll say, "He's here. Fisk is here. He's in that building back there."
Wilson Fisk.
Wilson Fisk.
How do you know?
I can recognize his heartbeat.
Is he alone?
He's never alone.
all the more reason for us to work together.
I agree.
So we're going to the building then?
Well, yes, but we can't just walk in. Are there any back entrances or perhaps a fire escape?
This is New York City. Everything, according to code, has fire escapes. Whether or not they are in perfect repair here in Hell's Kitchen is another question and matter. But if you wish to try to go in from the rear, you certainly can. There is a mirrored front door very similar to this shield facility on the other street of 44th. You have potential entrances in the ceiling or the roof. This is New York.
Spider-Man's going to go through the vents. That's what he's going to want to do. He said, I can get the jump on him.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
Before doing anything else, Jessica's going to put the body just inside the building so it's not out in the snow.
Love it. Yeah, so Jessica, you're able to bring Becky in and the snow doesn't collect on her anymore.
No.
And the lack of ceremony for her fallen form is relieved somewhat.
So using these ancient computers, Reed is going to try to hack into the security system of the building next door.
Roll me a reason. You try to, and perhaps there's no security system, but that would be a different type of read. Instead, you're pretty sure there is one. You just can't reach it.
What are you doing?
These computers are ancient. I'm trying to get into the system next door to see if we can turn the cameras on and have eyes inside the building.
All right, well, if it's got doors, we can just break in.
Or I could walk us through any side of the building we want.
What, you just like go through walls?
Walk through a wall. Then I'll walk back in.
We could do that.
Interesting. Some sort of phase shifting power.
Can you take us with you, or how does it work exactly?
I should be able to. I could take stuff with me, and I'll just grab a random thing.
Does it hurt?
Push it through the wall, pull it back up. No.
Kitty, you can do one person at a time.
I can do one person at a time. I can't do a big group, but just one person at a time I can do.
I'm going to go up to the top of the building. I am not going to go through a wall phasing.
It's really fun.
Stuffy. I'll take your word on it.
Mm-hmm. I'll go with you. I'll go with you, Spidey. But
okay, sounds good, DD.
Which means I'm stuck with Sunshine, right? Okay.
I don't think she likes you either, Kitty.
If she doesn't like anybody, that's all right. It's not your fault, kid.
It's like he says.
Hey, you said you were looking for someone. You're supposed to...
Yeah.
Someone?
Mr. Connor Burton, at least I'm looking for. I think she's looking for someone too, but they're dead. I don't know. I was only kind of half listening while I was Googling myself, so.
This Connor, is he like you?
Yeah, I'm supposed to make sure he gets back to the school all right.
Do you know what his power is or what he looks like? Just
no, we have a picture, actually, so I'll go get the picture of him.
Can't see that. It doesn't. I'm sorry.
Let me see it.
He looks really young, and
We're going to get him back, Kitty.
Describe him.
Yeah, he looks like a young river phoenix, like an 8-year-old river phoenix.
He looks like. I don't know what his power, his abilities are. I was just supposed to basically interview him and bring him back to the school.
All right. Well, we'll meet up on the inside. Just be careful, please. Mr. Fantastic?
Yes.
You've dealt with things like this before, maybe more than any of us.
Quite.
What's your plan?
Well, I think Spidey and you must be the devil of Hell's Kitchen, unless I miss my guess.
That's what some call me.
Well, why don't you do what you do best? Come in from the top. The ladies here can phase in through the bottom, and I'll just slip between the cracks of the door and follow them. We'll meet up on the inside. Fair enough?
Righteous.
Sounds good.
I'm working on my lingo for the young kids. I'm trying to get my image up.
Gotta get with the slang.
You should probably stop trying. Come on, let's go. She
Okay.
looks to Kitty.
Okay. She hates me.
So as the blizzard outside in Manhattan begins to swirl and the snow accumulates inch by inch, the city gets quiet. The crunch of snow for those that walk, the only sound at some. And Daredevil and Spider-Man, this is an old building, you're able to find an access port into the roof, not necessarily into the vents themselves, but through a skylight down into the proper of the building, which is vacant. There's no furniture. It seems to be several apartments. It is a 7-story structure, and you feel that this dunk is staying steady, Murdoch. And if your guess is right, and it almost always is, he's in the lobby.
I think he wants us to come to him.
He probably wants us to bring a pizza. And I'm not bringing him a pizza.
I go for pizza.
Listen, Dee, we need to take Fist down. He's got to go. It's time to put him behind bars for good.
Just stay aware, stay alert.
And maybe afterwards we can go hang out. You know, I don't have any super friends. You know,
I think I've got a thing later tonight, so.
Well, maybe next week, right? Next week. No,
Let's see.
I'm always around, swinging around. Anywho.
All right, we're going in. So this is the time.
So as you two creep down the steps, the elevator is not functioning, so you move, and you are moving towards the lobby. We will cut to Jessica and Kitty as they and Mr. Fantastic as you all phase through various points at the ground level. You believe that from the entrance point that was most accessible with the alleyway that you phased through and the side door that you found, it's basically a lead-in or a more high-traffic mudroom for this apartment building. You can see the bank of little like post office mailboxes. This is probably a more accessible place for the citizens or the people that would live in this building. And you believe that the entrance opposite of where you came in would lead you to the lobby.
I think we're, Kitty is leading the way because she's the one who can go through the walls.
So Kitty, are you going to go ahead and kind of like phase into...
Oh, yeah, I phase through, like phase into a wall, and then I peek out a little bit. Like,
okay.
Just...
Without the need for a roll, when you peek out into the lobby, you see a massive man in a white suit smoking a cigar as he stares out of a dirty window to the streets of Hell's Kitchen as he chomps and smokes, and the boards beneath him in this building every time he shifts his weight.
She'll kind of phase back through the wall and be like, and report what she's seen.
Thank you to everybody that's donated. Much appreciated. So as we go back into the building owned by the Kingpin of New York, Wilson Fisk, we have Daredevil and Spider-Man coming from above. We have Shadowcat, Mr. Fantastic, and Jessica Jones just off at the de facto mailroom. So what would you all like to do as you're going to, if Daredevil and Spider-Man want to go into the lobby, it's going to be easy. It's a 3-floor atrium level lobby. You'll break into it.
ED, I'll stay in the ceiling. You go right at him and distract him. Sound like a plan?
You got it. Just be careful.
You too, buddy.
If we're descending towards the lobby, do the stairs go directly into the lobby, or is there like a balcony that we go over top as a shortcut?
Yeah, I mean, you can take the internal staircase all the way down to the lobby, but if you get off on, say, the 3rd floor, there is like a loping kind of multi-tiered balcony that leads down into this pretty ornate, for Hell's Kitchen, lobby. So there's 2 access points. You can go straight down the internal kind of utilitarian staircase or out onto the 3rd floor, which would have a balcony overlooking the lobby proper.
So Daredevil, as he's descending the utilitarian stairs, he springs over the rails of the spiraling stairs, and he bounces foot to foot off of the rails all the way down to the 3rd floor, where he hooks his hand onto the rails and slides over. He puts his ear to the door and listens to see if he hears anything immediately on the outside on that 3rd story balcony.
Give me an intuition check. Yeah, that's a real good one. You don't hear anything, but again, you've been around the Kingpin enough to know that he knows you, and perhaps it's a trick of your own imagination, but you have that kind of, that cellophane feel that there's probably more to this, and whether that's just your defense mechanisms for Wilson Fisk or actual sensorial input, difficult to say, but you're definitely have a feeling something is more than it seems.
He holds at the door for a second and thinking to himself. He's thinking about the people that he's with, Richards and Jessica, both very powerful. Spider-Man, very powerful. This girl, Kitty, who can do things that he's never seen before, and he's trying to turn it over in his mind. Does he think that Fisk could have manipulated all of these people here at the same time for some specific purpose? And that's something that he feels in his gut, that he's worried about in his gut, but he can't quite connect it in his mind. And after a moment, he'll swing the door open slowly and step out onto the atrium. And as he approaches the edge of the balcony, does Fisk's heart speed up at all?
Because of your earlier intuition roll, you hear dun dun, dun dun dun, and you hear an inhalation. I was wondering when you'd get here.
He stays to the shadows above on the 3rd story. He doesn't fall down yet, but he will call out over, even as he's circling and moving and changing directions, so that he's never in the same place for very long. What's going on here, Fisk? What do you want?
That's an excellent question, Devil. Why don't you come down here and talk to me like a man?
He thinks about somebody that he has lost recently, something that's weighing heavily on his heart, how his gut tells him that Fisk has to be responsible for this. Fisk is always responsible. And though he is a cautious man, and many times, this time he's not, And as soon as the challenge is made, he springs over the edge, having tried to circle around so that he can strike at Fisk from behind as he falls.
As soon as you clear the balcony, and though this would not affect Daredevil in any way, several lights illuminate along the edge of this 3-leveled and this 3-storied atrium. And Kitty, as you are peeking out, you see that attached to each light is a camera. Maybe a dozen in total, all pointing into this room. And you would feel the light and the buzz of electricity, Daredevil, as you leap over the side. And Fisk does not make any move to defend himself. He simply says,
I am a citizen. Do you wish to be known as a vigilante?
He falls from the 3rd story, pulling out his club, ready to strike, and he lands. He holds back for a second, crouched in front of Fisk. He feels the electric buzz. He's not sure what's going on.
You see, Devil, I am a respected member of New York City. You are a criminal. Prove it to everyone by breaking into my home, a property I own, and striking me down for the world to see. You'll take the headlines in the Daily Bugle as they point not at that insect, but at you. You'll be the true devil.
You need to take a bath, Wilson. I can smell you all the way up here. And he shoots one of the cameras and like destroys it with his web.
it goes.
Does that seem to distract Wilson at all?
His eyes are locked on Daredevil.
So you've brought friends this time, ganging up on a defenseless old man. This will play well for the press.
Where is she?
She?
Wherever you're hiding.
You see.
About.
I almost didn't believe them. They said the heroes always find out. I'm not a fan of being used and manipulated. But, in this instance, when I knew it would be you that comes rushing in to defend your bit of heaven here in Hell's Kitchen, I wouldn't shirk at being manipulated. But they said it. The heroes always find out. And here you are. So, I've taken advantage. And now, Devil and Bug, if you want to leave here, you have two choices. You can beat a defenseless man, or you can remove those masks. Show the world that you too are citizens of New York, and not some barbarian.
Stop playing the victim, Wilson. That's not what we're doing here. We're looking for somebody, and you're going to help us. Or we'll take you with us.
You've broken into private property.
I've done worse. Apparently. And he kind of air quotes as he's on the ceiling.
As it stands right now, you have fans and detractors, Bug. But you are currently on video as being a burglar.
Do you really think that you're some good guy? Like people know you, Wilson. Don't try to manipulate us.
I pay my taxes, Bug. Take off your mask so we know you pay yours.
That's not going to happen.
Do I hear the approach of the others? He's standing like he's still crouched. He's got the
eyeballs are through the wall.
Yeah,
Does he
so
hear?
he could hear all of them. He can hear Shadowcat and the odd kind of ghosty Shadowcat and the strange muffled sound of Richards and then the heartbeat of Jessica. And all of you can hear this right now.
As he hears the sounds of their heartbeats, especially listening for Reed Richards, he says, "You underestimated us. We're not vigilantes. We're here working under official capacity, and we have official representation."
At that moment, Reed Richards turns himself into a paper-thin membrane and slides underneath the door into the room. Wilson Fisk, you do not understand what's going on here. These two have been deputized by S.H.I.E.L.D. in order to investigate suspicious activities in this area.
Yeah.
Very good, then I'm sure you have a warrant. And don't think, Dr. Richards, I easily forgive you for edging me out for Time's Man of the Year.
You
That's a
weren't
laugh.
even in the running, Fisk.
You were in the running for the big boy of the year, not the man of the year, Wilson.
How old are you?
I thought that was good.
Dr. Richards, you come here carrying the credentials of S.H.I.E.L.D. of which I have seen none. But these two, deputized by your S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm sure you have gone through the courts to come into a private residence. I'm sure there is a warrant or a judge that has signed off on such. Provide me with that. Otherwise, Dr. Richards, you are free to go. But the devil and the bug, they are only free to go when they take off their masks.
Well, this guy's been monologuing, and cameras were mentioned.
And so, Kitty, as you go around and search, you do see that the cameras themselves appear to be feeding live somewhere. And I'll ask Jessica this, as she is the only one currently not in the room.
Yeah.
Are you staying
Um,
in the atrium? Or are you trying to sneak in? Or
I could
Talk-
push you in.
having overheard, if we overheard all of that about the warrant, and since she was looking at those papers and saw that stuff, was there a warrant on that table amongst the stuff about Fisk?
none that you saw?
Okay.
Shield, you're being sketchy.
All right. I think she's going to follow. Kitty, are you like fully in the wall, or are you
No,
just like
she's
reaching
just got her
around?
arms in there.
Okay. What are you doing?
There's a live feed for this camera. I'm trying to find out where it is. So we can disconnect it. And then we don't have to worry about it. He'll lose his like, gambling.
Just punch the wall and get it out of there.
You can do
There's
whatever
a
you
lot
like.
of cameras.
All
so I
right.
figured if I find the server, I can end them all.
That would be destruction of property.
Yeah, and then we're not destroying property. So. And the
She'll
server, we can shut them all off at the same time.
she'll follow Kitty along
Okay, so the two of you
until
are
we find a
staying.
server room.
Right, are you two trying to stay
Unnoticed.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah, but I mean, are you going into the room or are you
no, I'm looking for the servers that would be connected for this live feed. I want to disconnect
Yeah.
it at source.
Okay.
So most likely they're in this building. I just got to follow these wires because
Okay.
wireless wasn't a huge video feed thing. at this point.
Alrighty. So at this point, what would happen is you would see that the Kingpin is going to turn his attention directly to the devil again.
Mm-hmm. Keep monologuing.
So, seems I must defend myself from your incursion. Perhaps one last plea. Take off your mask, devil. Meet me face to face, and I will let you walk out of here on my honor as a citizen.
He listens and tries to hone in on Reed Richards' heartbeat. Trying to read, does he think that Reed Richards' heart is starting to race a little bit more? Does it seem like Reed Richards is backing off of the situation or about to engage?
Reed is definitely about to engage, but he doesn't seem to have. He seems to be more approaching it from mediation rather than escalation.
Okay. If it seems like if Reed Richards' heartbeat beats even just a hair of a fraction faster, then Daredevil's lips turn into a small smile, and he says, "Not today, Fisk." He takes his baton and he throws it at the ground and deflects it off of the ground upwards so that it bounces and in an offbeat strikes upwards at Kingpin's face, going right for his nose.
Okay, roll an attack for me.
All right, and this is a baton, yeah.
You should have your Billy Club macro. Macro.
Yeah, I've got it. And this is the column shift.
Okay, so for the hit, and I believe your baton is...
excellent, so it does 20 damage.
Okay, so it strikes the Kingpin in the jaw as it breaks his cigar, and he stumbles back for a moment, and you see as he pulls away the shattered remains of the rolled leaf, there's a smile on his face.
Thank you, devil. When they said you'd come, I knew I could take advantage. Mr. Masters!
And from the shadows, you see creep out, and just as the Mr. Masters goes out, you hear a heartbeat. Ding-ding. Ding-ding. A person wearing a orange cape that is pulled up with a face painted like a skull stands holding a shield very much like the captain of this America. A large blade resting at his side, a holstered gun, a bow. The man is decked out in some type of armor.
Another private citizen, a representative of the U.S. government. I know him as Mr. Masters. I'm sure you know him as the Taskmaster.
I'd like everyone to roll me some initiative who is in the room, as you all get a chance to play with one of my favorites.
Good luck, boys.
We're gonna crush this server so
Yeah,
hard.
We're just gonna destroy the computer and then we'll be back. It's fine. Don't worry.
Of the three people that are in there, somebody pick initiative to roll. It should be Daredevil, who I think has a +4. But I will.
I don't know. I can't see what I rolled, but I'm sure it was pretty.
6.
Of course you can't.
I have a +4 to initiative.
Oh,
It was-
14 for Spider-Man then.
It was a 30. So as this all goes down, Spidey, you see this person burst into action even before your initiative goes, as he is spending some karma to do so, and you see a stick fly out into the middle of your group as the Kingpin places something into both of his ears. And I would like Mr. Fantastic, Spider-Man, and Daredevil at a -2 column shift to roll me an endurance check. as a siren and sonic blast goes off.
Oh boy, trying to find this stuff. There we go. That's equals.
Green.
Green is good.
I'm going to. I think I got a white. I'm gonna use one of my rerolls.
You did. Go right ahead, buddy.
Okay, I got this.
Green.
All right, that's better.
Okay, as it goes off and as you all hear this high-pitched pulsing whine go out everywhere, I would like you all, even with the success, none of you drop unconscious, but I would like you all to lose 15 health as the wave of sonic energy pierces your eardrums and you feel the movement of fluids, whether it's blood or simply like the release and crack of your sinuses as you're trying desperately to remain conscious. And I would like, let's see, Spider-Man, you get to react first as this person seems to be prepping their shield to do something.
Yeah, Spider-Man is going to try to nail his shield to the wall. He's going to try to like shoot it with his web out of his as he goes to throw the shield or whatever he's going to do with it. He wants to incapacitate the shield.
Okay, as you shoot, I would like you to give yourself, or go ahead and just roll and I'll give you, you're having a -2 column shift because this person knows what you do.
Got it. How many rerolls do we have? How many do we receive? Just one?
You all have a ton. If you've been keeping track, I hope. I've been
not.
monologuing.
Lauren usually does that for me.
I think
Okay.
we've had 3 for the group.
Still
Yeah,
nailing.
3 for the group.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and give me that attack roll. Spidey web shoot. Spidey web shooters.
Gotcha. Yes, sir. I am hitting it.
Okay, and as you strike down, our good friend is going to roll his... Give me one sec. You see, just as you fire, he moves out of the way and the webs strike against the wall as he spins the shield over and, using his legendary action, throws the shield at you instead. And Taskmaster throws and it bounces harmlessly out of the way, but it does, you were able to evade it, but as it bounces around, you see him catch the shield again in a move identical to Captain America himself. Oh, you tell me this thing just went down again. No, okay, we're still here? Great. Maybe.
Whoa, you are ugly.
Hold on a second, guys. This is awful. Now I'm getting problems with Roll20. Must be my internet, everyone.
I think we're still up.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. If I have to roll, we'll do that, but we'll see. Okay, so let's jump over, and it would now be to Daredevil, who I think had the next highest initiative in the order. Daredevil, what would you like to do as you see this man attacking?
So the baton has bounced off of the ground, strikes Fisk in the jaw. This happens. Daredevil has leaped into the air, sprung off of Fisk's shoulders to grab the baton above his head. And does Fisk seem to be reacting, or is he still standing there even as all of this is happening?
Fisk is standing there with blood trickling out of his nose, and he's kind of searching for another cigar. He appears to have earplugs in.
Interesting. Daredevil's going to try to box his ears and those earplugs with both of his feet as he's coming up over his head.
Okay, roll an attack for me. Just use your billy club.
All right. Yeah, I got this.
Absolutely, that's a hit. And for another 20 damage as you box the ears, the Kingpin seems to roll with it as both of the earplugs come out, and you can hear his heartbeat get dug, 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 as you see one of his hands clench into a fist, but he instead just allows you to attack and does nothing.
On the downside, as Daredevil's dropping, he'll flip back and land in a crouch position. He's keeping an ear on Kingpin, but now he's facing this new figure, Taskmaster. That'll be the end of his turn.
Okay, and then we go to Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic, you are staring down at this interesting, brightly clad person who seems to be attempting to take you all on. What would you like to do?
Reed is going to go full spaghetti arms and legs, trying to wrap up and constrict the Kingpin while he speaks to him, trying to de-escalate the situation. And he says, "Wilson, stand down and have your goon do the same. You don't understand. We have every right to be here. There has been a breach in a shield facility, and we have reason to suspect that you might be involved. If you know otherwise, speak now."
He can't, as he allows you to wrap him up, but you can feel the strength in his large body as he flexes for a moment, and you feel yourself give several inches as he does not break away but allows himself to be wrapped up.
"You might have to give back that Time Magazine Man of the Year after they see you aiding these criminals. And I will call him off. Just a few more seconds of footage is all I'll need."
Everyone stand down. There's no need for violence here. There is something we need to solve. We must work together.
And with that, we are going to have another, make sure that's right this time. And as the Taskmaster throws his shield again, Spidey, I'd like you to take 20 damage, but you do have armor. If your armor might be enough to withstand it, check your powers, but you do take 20 damage right now. If it sticks, deduct what needs to be deducted. And as he catches the shield, he is going to throw it again because I can. And I got something better. Love it. Daredevil. As the shield comes back down, you see this man spin off of the third-story balcony, catch the shield, and whip it towards you. It will hit for 20. If you have any armor to decrease, do so.
It strikes him, and he bounces off the ground from the force, rolls over his right shoulder, and then comes back up to his feet.
Yep, and the Taskmaster lands, and again, somehow with the geometry of whatever on his side, the shield bounces off the floor, off the railing, off of the overhang of the portal of the front door, and he catches it on his forearm as he stands and looks. It is back to Spider-Man.
All right. Yeah, I don't think I have armor, dude. I don't see it anywhere. I've been looking for it. So I guess
You do. Give me 1 second. You tell me what you want to do, and I'll look for it.
All right, I want to. Is there a large object that he can like? Spider-Man's gonna yank. He doesn't want to get engaged with this guy. He wants to just like dismantle him. So is there like some large object like a table? Is there a table in the room? Anything he can like web, and then use it to like slam down on him? That is be tough for him to dodge.
Yeah, you can definitely grab a table and use it, and I'll give you a +1 column shift as far as your attack value goes.
Yeah.
Since you're hitting with a larger.
Yeah. And can I attach it? Can I throw a quick camera up there real quick? You know, like in the middle of the wall for the fight.
Yeah, I'll let you spend some karma if you want to do it. Spend me 10 karma, you can get your camera up there.
I'll do it. He will spend 10 karma to put the camera up there for pictures, even if it is bad. He's going to, like I said, he's going to web a table, and he's just going to launch it right at, what do you want me to use, Spider Sense or Strength?
Just use the web shooters. That's tied to your fighting, so it'll go through no matter what.
Oh, so I don't need Strength for the table?
Nope, just doing, the fighting goes through, and it'll bounce off of the pool I have put into it. Awesome. So as you bring that down, we're going to say that with the column shift up, you're going to do 25 damage. He gets his shield up, but you see that he does, in fact, take a nice smash of this table across his face as he goes and rolls with it. But even the dispersion of that kinetic energy is not enough as he rolls and stands back up and for a moment wobbles, realizing that the creatures and the beings that he faces are 3 of the mightiest on the planet. But he will stand fast as he waits for Daredevil's move.
As Daredevil comes back to his feet, let me ask you this, Greg. Does Daredevil, and where we are in time, how familiar is Daredevil with Fisk? Have they had a lot of interactions by now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're just about up to the point where they're on a first name basis.
He, without looking too much over his shoulder, speaks back to Fisk. You don't get it, Fisk. Shield's coming for you. Everything that's yours. This isn't just a strike here, it's a strike everywhere. They've already got her. They've already got Vanessa. You're the one who's been duped.
His eyes narrow at the mention of Vanessa, but he still keeps him, even though he's wrapped in Mr. Fantastic, even though he's bleeding from his nose, he keeps his eyes on you, Daredevil, as he says,
"You don't get it. We're both being manipulated. S.H.I.E.L.D. was never coming for me."
Who are they coming for?
Open your eyes, Devil. There's more at play here. And I think we've had enough.
And at that mention, Taskmaster stands at ease, but he keeps both of his weapons in his hand. As Kingpin looks from Daredevil to Mr. Fantastic.
"You can release me whenever you would like, Dr. Richards."
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He releases Kingpin immediately. That's exactly what I was trying to say. There's more here at work than your petty vengeance, Devil. There's been a breach of a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility next door, and we need to see if Fisk has information. Well, do you?
Of course I do. That S.H.I.E.L.D. facility, the breach, was a distraction. They said that heroes always find out. Of that they are right, but your information is wanting. However, I do not like to be manipulated. 1 block over, on 43rd Street, there is a place called the Amber House. I believe what you truly seek is there. Not in the SHIELD facility, but thank you for all of this. This will make the prime time news syndicates very happy.
But let's cut to Jessica and Shadowcat, as I would like each of you to roll an intuition check to see if you can find where the Kingpin is. He has no clue you're there.
No, he doesn't. That's part of our plan.
I do think Jessica probably started to scout a little further ahead to see if she could find the room where, like, this feed footage might be going to, while Kitty is
Just
like leading through the wall.
Stud, wire, stud, another stud.
Yeah, so
Not
she's
a
she's
stud.
stalking through the halls, trying to find a door that looks like it leads to the
Okay.
right place.
So after this, with Jessica working the outside and with Kitty working the inside of the walls, you're able to track back all of these lines to one central hub of both, like, tape recordings, a bank of various feeds being recorded, and there is a feed that's leading out through a cable system. You can each roll me, should you wish to do so, a reason. You may
Yeah.
roll me a reason.
Sure.
Some of my talents include electronics and software hardware design. So I'm going to make this reason check. I'm very happy to do so. Yeah.
Jessica, you get there first to see the exterior of the stuff just as Kitty bleeds through the wall beside the electronics bank. You believe that this is being recorded on site, but it's also being sent out live somewhere.
Okay.
We should definitely get rid of this on-site recording and then
Yeah, we don't want him
Follow
to
the
keep
feed.
any of the footage, but
Nope.
we need to figure out where it's going to.
we do. We can follow it. And I kind of
Right.
like pull the wire partially out of the wall and then stick it back in.
You take care of that. I'll take care of this. I'm just gonna wreck it. She's just gonna start putting her fist through it to.
Okay, so I'll start following the feed out. And she's gonna wreck the equipment in here.
Yeah, she's just gonna trash anything that looks like it is storing footage.
Okay. So as the fists begin to fly, and I will remind Kitty, anytime you phase through electronics, it scrambles the shit
It does. So I'll just
out of
walk
them.
through them and
Right.
she's smashing right behind me.
So with thunder and lightning, as as Kitty like dances through the electronics, and they just kind of.
Hopefully that means that cable was kind of scrambled the whole time that I was following it during this fight.
Well, the one that it wasn't.
That one that he was like, why is this one camera so wonky?
Right, one of them is
messed
really
up.
goofed up, right? But as you do all this, and Jessica, as you just absolutely beat the snot out of this bank, just as the Kingpin begins his comments out in the lobby, Daredevil especially, but Daredevil, Spidey, and Mr. Fantastic would hear, "Kung, kung, 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 kung," as this almost forge-like sound is coming from the back as fist on metal, where the metal is losing, resonates through this vacant building, enough where the Kingpin's eyes kind of widen a bit. "More rats come to roost." And he nods at Taskmaster, who begins to move towards the sound.
Following this feed out. And I imagine it doesn't take her long to trash the equipment after I just phase through it. And so I'll be like, all right, and I'll pull her through the wall with me.
Yep.
To our exterior.
Okay,
Spider-Man
so
would wrap the door
Get
before
there and be like,
Taskmaster
this
did it.
place is trashed, but no one's here.
Yeah, it's probably got significant dents in it. If there's enough of it left to have dents.
Damage.
Oh, I was going to say, Jessica Jones alone was something for 10 seconds. It's junk. It's base elements at this point. It's, it's subatomic. So we're going to say that, Spidey, you're able to web up the door, but Taskmaster swipes down with his sword and breaks the door off his hinges, slips inside, and just as this skull-drawn figure looks into the room with the recordings in it, just as the two of you bleed through the solid wall, you see this bizarrely dressed man cock his head as he watches the two of you ghost through a solid object. And just as you go through, you actually hear him speak, and you hear, huh, just as you disappear through the back. And to impress somebody like the Taskmaster is, well, that's a victory in and of itself.
Like, who was that guy? Like the other side.
Another weirdo.
Had like all that face paint. It's not even a mask. Like, who takes the time to paint their whole face?
Why the costumes?
I don't know. Like capes, you should never wear a cape. They just get tangled in there.
No, it's stupid.
It's very dumb.
Well, whatever. That's done.
So, as you
I'm just following this wire again.
right. Now the live feed joins what would be considered at the time the cable grid of New York City. So determining exactly where it goes from this point is impossible. The Kingpin, I'm assuming that you're just sabotaging the entire way. So, anything that's currently going through isn't making it anymore. But identifying where the terminus is of this signal, it's just something that's beyond you. Sure. But as we cut back out to the Kingpin,
like, people don't need to watch TV today.
Right. Somebody in a neighboring building's like, "Go Giants! Fuck!" As it turns,
The Blizzards knocked it out anyway.
Yeah,
right.
That's fine. It was totally the Blizzard.
Right.
Yeah, Blizzard knocked out all cable. Crazy.
Right. So let's cut back out to the Kingpin as he is sitting there, having just told everyone that the SHIELD facility was simply a ruse.
You were used double. I used it to my advantage, but used I was as well. Now, will you make matters worse?
And he looks up, and every camera's red light is off.
I think we're done here.
Yeah.
Spider-Man drops down.
Daredevil, you would hear his heart go, dug, 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 as it gets a little faster, as he realizes whatever ploy he had in play, now he is just a man facing three of the most powerful individuals on the planet.
Spidey taps him on the face. Oh, you're just so chunky.
Your day will come, Bug. I just hope I'm around to see you get squashed.
You're going to see me, but it'll be from jail. Ba-bum-bum.
Makes it sound like you're in there too.
Fantastic. Do you have anything on him? Anything at all?
No. We should leave. We've gotten the information we need. Let's investigate this Amber House.
Fisk opens the front door.
Like,
I would say to come again any time, but I don't usually re-invite burglars.
Wilson, next time, could you have some food or something? I'm starving. It's cold out. See you, buddy. And Spider-Man flings out the door.
Until next time, Bug.
Daredevil hangs back for a moment. Over his shoulder to Fisk. Where's Elektra? Where is she?
He smiles.
I thought you would know.
He tries to crack him in the cheekbone with his baton.
Having unfortunately allowed himself to be struck so many times, he allows it again, but this time you see the hands clench as he posts up to Daredevil.
Last time, devil.
Daredevil flicks his baton so that some of Fisk's blood splashes across the snow outside. He says, "No, I think we have a few times left." He turns to walk away.
If you find her, say hi for me.
He doesn't say anything. He'll go back to join Richards and the others if they're wherever they are.
Richards just walks through the open door and is out on the street looking up the block to see if he can identify which house is the Amber House he spoke of.
In that direction be where that big cable box was, and I'm just standing in the air, like running my hands through it because I can walk on it.
Yeah.
Everybody's sort of. Yeah, everybody's sort of.
We've reconvened.
Yeah, you've reconvened. Everybody's come back together in front of the shield facility that backs up against Fisk's place. And without any rolls, as you look around, you see a placard across the street that says Amber House. It's another townhome.
No,
so is that
we've
the
already
place?
broken into one place.
You guys, everything good? Did you get him?
You okay, DD? Don't let that guy get to you, DD. That's
Fine.
his game. That's his game.
I'm fine. Let's just keep going. Richards, are we clear with this place? And he points in the direction of Amber House. Whoever's behind this, if we're to believe Wilson Fisk, they're in there.
Well, he should have no reason to lie. Greg, does Reed know anything about Amber House? Has he ever heard of this before?
Why don't you go ahead and let's do an intuition check, just because Reed would very possibly might have heard something about this, but only Reed. No, nothing rings. Nothing pops up. I will, however, allow Jessica and Daredevil to roll an intuition for a completely different definition.
Sure.
In Hell's Kitchen, both Matt Murdock and Jessica Jones would know the Amber House to be a retirement home.
Okay. It's a retirement home.
Interesting. Well, with so much power out, there could be residents inside sheltering out the storm.
Well, there's no TV on anymore.
Yeah. Kind of took that out.
I'm gonna miss the Golden Girls.
There'll be reruns eventually.
How big is Amber House? Is it a large facility, or is it a relatively quaint?
All the homes are very narrow on this street in Hell's Kitchen, but it does go up for 4 stories. It's one of the older homes here. It's probably rivals the age of the Shield building across the street. It's well kept. This is a nicer block in Hell's Kitchen. It seems timeless in a way.
It's cold. I don't want to be out here too much longer. Let's go.
All right, team, bring it in.
Yeah, no.
Are we?
She starts heading toward the Amber House.
There we go. There we go.
All right, fine.
Yeah. Reed, come on, Reed.
A fantastic opportunity.
Jessica has walked toward the house.
Oh, she just.
Okay, I'll drop
You're not going to get.
We're going to win you over, Jessica.
As you walk into Amber House,
Gotta be Electro.
Right. There's Electro. He's fucking with Twitch for some reason. We have no idea. He's just, hacking my computer.
Sure.
Jessica, you're the first one, and as you did say you walked into Amber House, correct?
Yeah, she's walking up to the house, and we'll kind of take a peek through the window first before to see if there's anything going on inside before potentially heading in.
It's dark inside.
Okay. So wait for the others to get done with their happy, huggy, cuddle, fist bump, whatever.
Team building exercise. Right.
Yes. That stuff. And wait for them to hurry it up and get up to the door.
Okay. So the rest of you climb the steps to Amber House, and you are there momentarily as you're outside of a nursing home.
It's dark in there.
Does it seem like it's soundproofed in the same way the other two buildings were, Greg?
No, this seems like a regular building for you. However, you hear nothing inside.
I don't think anyone's in there.
How many stories is it?
4.
Well, it's a public facility. We should just be able to enter.
Just go on in and see what's inside.
Seems good.
She pushes the door open, and
I'm gonna do my roofie thing. And Spider-Man heads for the roof. Boom.
Okay.
It's not what a roofie is, but okay.
I heard that.
As you
She'll
all
head
go
inside quietly.
I have a lot of roofie experience.
As you all go into the facility, it is only a moment as the door opens that the smell of decay and death reaches all of you as the first person to step into the facility. The carpet squishes not with the melting of snow, but with something else.
Shit.
What color is the
They're
carpet?
like a light. She's gonna feel around for a light switch and try to get a light on, if possible.
You click it and nothing happens.
Damn it. Watch your step. It's gross in here.
Just walk a few inches, like an inch above the ground then, because I don't want to touch it.
You can do that for as long as you can hold your breath, but then you have to reform and take another breath. It's like swimming underwater for Kitty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just like, and then I don't smell it immediately, and then I get down and I'm like, oh, this smells like they expired. All the old people.
Yeah, this is bad.
How fresh does it smell?
To you, very.
They're still here, whoever did this. This just happened.
You sure?
Is this a lot to soak in to just have happened recently?
Yeah, they don't usually stink this bad right away.
Yeah, I guess. Are we able? Is it so choking that we can't enter? We can't press forward, or is it just difficult?
Yeah.
It's decidedly dense because there is a powerful, just a decomposition that definitely didn't just occur.
Okay.
However, the fresh nature of the blood that you're walking in suggests that it did. So there might be multiple timelines at play here. But the smell of decomposition, while powerful compared to the crisp, snow-filled air outside, is you can negotiate it. It's not something that would force you to leave, but it is ever present.
Yes, keep that to myself, but that extra information, since I don't know what it means. But say, well, let's move fast. If there's anything to be done here.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
So, Jessica's gonna just keep squishing through the carpet and maybe head up the stairs to see if there's any signs of anything on the next level.
Okay, roll me an intuition check as you all get into what would be the rooms of the facility. Okay, so Daredevil and Jessica Jones, as you all are walking through, you see that several of the rooms just have bodies lying in the bed. For whatever reason, they have expired. But then when you get to a specific room at the middle of the hall, the outside name reads Madeline Joyce Frank. And when you look inside, you see an autopsy.
What the hell? Just gonna step inside, but only just. It's trashed in here. Someone tore into the body.
If there's an autopsy, is there a computer in here that they maybe use to take notes on, or is there like a
recording device?
There a recording device? Yeah, anything that they use to take notes on.
There is a tripod without a camera. Does anyone have any medical knowledge among the group?
I don't think so.
Dr. Richards would have some.
I would have some. My specialty is in physics, but I do know a smattering of biology and anatomy.
Let's have you make a reason check for me, as we're going to use your reason to see if you can understand what's going on here.
I just speak Russian.
Of course you do.
Green.
When you're looking at this, you realize that this woman has had specific things removed, or at least they're absent. You see that the pancreas, the spleen, the kidneys, the liver, the lungs, the heart, they are all removed, and the chest cavity, while still filled with some of the other broader organs, is very empty compared to what it should be.
The basic organs are gone. I'm going to look around and see if there's a scale. At some times during an autopsy, these organs are removed and weighed as part of the process.
But do they put them back normally?
Well, I don't suppose you could.
Hey, there's like holes. You could just. Never mind. I don't know
There's no
anything.
sign of the organs in the room.
None.
Is there anything like a desk or anything else at all, or it was just the tripod and the table?
Yes, but this looks like a room that had been lived in, meaning that there's a chair and something that, there's a small bookcase filled with books, picture frames depicting family members. The bed itself isn't just a medical bed. It's got like a comforter thrown over it, which is now stained. But as far as what would maybe be foreign implements, table, camera, surgical equipment, just the tripod remains.
Okay.
Only two things I can think of that would do something like this to so many people at once. Some sort of contained bioweapon, or someone with powers. Someone with really strong powers.
Checks out. Keep looking.
I'm coming from the roof. He's going to break open the door. Has he seen anything coming in?
Yeah, roll me an intuition check, Pete.
I'll
What do your
probably,
spidey senses see?
yeah, I'll probably use I may use a reroll on this one. Yeah, I'll definitely use a reroll.
Okie dokie.
Yep. I'm clueless.
It's dark.
It was real dark.
He's just going to creep. He's creeping along the walls.
Okay. So as you go through this over the ceiling and along the walls, you would see similar rooms of just very still forms lying in state on the bed.
Oh my God.
What are the rest of you doing?
Do you want me to check if there's a basement real quick? We
Sure.
don't see anybody up here, so I don't know.
And you just go you just drop down like straight there.
Apparently she can, because she just did.
There she went.
The best.
But if there's not a basement, does she get stuck down there? How does that work?
Is there a basement?
Oh, welcome back.
Yes, there was a basement.
There's a basement!
Just filled with like stacks and stacks of TV guides.
Just a bunch of TV guides, though.
That's
The 80s.
Well, let's continue progressing through the facility and see if we see any similar signs of dissection of humans.
Well, you said it was if it was a real powerful guy. I know sometimes they put some, like layers in a basement. That's where I would put all my really cool, powerful stuff if I had any.
Sure.
Let's keep going.
Keep going up.
With your earlier intuition rolls, I will allow you to find that there is another among the regular rooms of death. There is another dissection room on the second floor, and the name outside says Agatha Harkness. Mr. Richards, you knew an Agatha Harkness.
Who was she?
She was, for a very short period of time, a nanny for Franklin. She was also a witch.
Magic user.
My God.
She's dead in the comics.
She's dead now.
What's the matter?
This woman. I know her. She was a nanny for my child for some time. She was also a powered person.
A super?
Well, yes. A mutant, I believe. Which could connect to the signs we found inside the SHIELD facility.
I hope Connor's okay.
If someone here is doing experiments on mutants, who knows?
I'm going to go downstairs and check the desk. Or might there be an office here? I'm going to look around and see if I can find like an office that whoever ran this facility would have, a room that might function that way.
You find a kind of a key, and it says that the third floor is administrative level.
Okay. She's going to start heading that way.
And Jessica, as you would pass going up to the third, you find on the second floor another room of autopsy. This one, instead of saying a regular name, instead says, almost covered with a British flag, Union Jack.
Hey, what are you guys doing? You coming?
I'm right behind you.
Of course you are.
Okay.
Have I met up with him yet?
You would be getting onto the 3rd floor, Spidey, just as Jessica would be ascending to the 3rd floor. And you all hear voices coming from down the hall.
Oh no.
Like back the way we came.
On the 3rd floor.
on the
As
3rd
you
floor,
all are
okay.
going up, Spidey's coming down. You meet in the 3rd floor. And there are voices on the administration level.
Can we tell how many voices?
Yeah, roll intuition, and you get a +2 column shift since you are free of the influence of that cellophane you felt before.
Reed has no intuition today.
He's
Sound-
distracted.
Confident. He's like, I'm Mr. Fantastic.
Out of my element without my team.
I definitely would have picked up a TV guide if it had his picture on it, so I could have him sign it later.
Right, it's a picture of him and let's see, Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
You know, it's a Tonight
Because
Show.
you're never gonna believe me back at the school. So I'm gonna
I
Excellent
remember
first
that
mission.
appearance.
As you listen, Daredevil, you can pick out that there are 3 distinct voices. However, the 3rd has no heartbeat.
Does it still sound human? Is it emoting in a human way?
You don't hear accompanied respiration, if that makes sense. There's
Mhm.
not a whisper or a breath or a whistle through teeth. There's not a click of a tongue or the smack of a lip. There's just a voice. It sounds human. It's not alien or robotic, but it lacks all of the natural influences.
He'll lean into towards Jessica and Richards and Kitty and Spidey. 3 of them. One of them's strange. Maybe Powers doesn't have a heartbeat.
Yeah, that constitutes strange.
Quite.
Gigi, do I see a room where I could go throughout the window and around to what room he's talking about? Maybe look in the window to see what's going on from outside the building?
Yeah, you can go around the outside, sure. Each room has a window. And what did you get on your intuition?
I had got a good. I actually succeeded in that.
Okay.
I got green too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you creep around the outside, you're able to look in, and it seems that whatever action is going on isn't going on in a room. It's as if there's a communal area somewhere in the center of the floor. You can hear voices coming from deeper in the floor from your position at the window.
He'll go back and he'll report what he sees. They have to be down in some sort of area. They're not right in this room particularly.
Okay.
Kitty. And remind me, did Kitty tell us that she was a mutant, or did she just show us that she had powers?
No, she said
She said
was
maybe.
She said, but the way she said it was like a yeah. So she's like maybe.
She's not doing a very good job of lying if that was her objective.
Listen, I don't know what powers these people have or what weapon they might have, but if other people in this room, in this building, were mutants and they're all dead, we might not be safe here if we go in.
We have to find out what happened to Connor. He's just a little boy, and he's a mutant too. And
We're gonna save him,
to
Kitty.
get him back to the school.
We're gonna get him.
Probably a safe bet he's not here either way.
Well, we gotta find out where he is. He's probably real scared. He's just supposed to be at the shield facility, and that place got trashed.
What do you think? We just hit him as hard and fast as we can?
Yes, but from many sides, as many as we can.
Might as well. Gotta get out of here, right?
I can pop somebody in through a wall.
And just leave him there?
I can crawl
I mean,
on a wall.
I could, but I mean, I could pop one of us through a wall, and then I could maybe throw one of them through a wall.
I just can't deal with this. I have a thing with smells, and this is really bad.
Okay, yeah, we should go. Does anyone want to fight with me?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So
Spider-Man's
the
gonna
plan
take
is charge him.
Yep.
So
Well,
far,
So it
Spider-Man-
seems.
Spider-Man's going to go in from the ceiling. He's going to try to get above him to see what's going on first.
I think the plan is surround them and all charge at once.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. I thought it was.
Yes.
From
Surrounded
all
with
sides.
charge from all sides.
I thought it was a complete.
So I bet this
cluster
are
F.
fantastic
Okay.
and just coming through the air vent, and Spidey's gonna come from the ceiling, Jessica's gonna walk in, me and Daredevil are gonna phase through a wall.
Yeah.
And Jason-
Jessica's just gonna walk down and say hello
You guys want me to see what's
with her
going on?
fists.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let me get that where I need it. Boop. Okay. Who's going first then?
I would guess Spider-Man will probably crawl up on the ceiling to try to get a recon to see what the situation is.
I'll start walking through
So
rooms
I'm assuming Spider-Man will probably go first.
with Daredevil just to get
It's
adjacent.
really weird. Feels weird.
Yeah, I think Jessica is just going to be
Hmm.
kind of sneakily walking along because she can't, she has her legs. She can walk places.
That really creeps
Okay.
me out every time I see it.
Let's everybody that's being sneaky roll me an agility, and as soon as Shadowcat phases Daredevil, Matt, you feel truly blind as you slip into the astral phasing plane. You cannot smell, you cannot hear the same way, you cannot feel the air current. Everything
Amazing.
seems.
I'll use a reroll then in that case because I definitely don't want to get blindsided if I'm already blind.
Me too. I'm going to re-roll as well.
I probably should.
This is Jessica just walks in and they're like,
She's like, what?
That's better. Okay, there we go.
Jessica's like Jack Burton. She just shows up. You
I know, I'm just
You
walking.
know what's happening, gentlemen? You know.
Hi.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll do a reroll.
Oh, okay. Darn.
Because that.
Okay.
Darn, he said.
I mean, as on brand as it could have been, I should have done it a little better.
right. As everyone sneaks in, the following is revealed simultaneously as everyone's coming in from their various points. You see a massive female woman, but she's nearly 7 feet tall and several feet wide, dressed in some type of green plating. Her arms lope almost down to her shins. You see a man, he's smaller, maybe 5'6", 5'7", but has a great fin on some type of headdress costume that he is wearing, and it snakes down his back and extends into a tail that is not for decoration as it begins to whip around and act on its own accord. And Daredevil, as you pop back out and as you have Kitty rephase you in, you realize this third entity is the one that is producing the unnatural voice and absent of a heartbeat. It is transparent as it stands and addresses these two odd figures in front of it. It is every bit a ghost. It is all white with an internal glow. And as it looks and approaches and talks to all of you, its face, if it can be said to have one, snaps up at the entrance of all of you, but specifically at Kitty as she comes through the wall. It regards her with whatever a faceless entity can regard and prove interest. But you all see these creatures here, these people, and they are surrounded by jars that have organs floating in them. They seem to be loading them on some type of hovering pad.
I think we found our missing organs, team.
What the hell?
Okay,
Where's
this has turned into a
Connor,
horror
Robert?
film.
I will allow you all to get the drop on whoever you would like here, as you are facing members of the Serpent Society, Anaconda and Death Adder.
Got it.
Okay.
Those sound like pleasant names. Like good chaps.
Who looks the most punchable?
Anaconda, she looks
Very
extremely
Reed Richards.
punchable.
All right.
He's very Reed Richardsy. Spider-Man is going to slam into Death Adder. Like he's going to use a web and his webs and like slingshot himself at Death Adder because he's completely. This is awful for him. This is like the worst thing he could see.
This is a nursing home. Were there any of those like IV sticks, like the stands?
Yeah, there are several, and this is an administrative section, so I will say that there's at least 3 of them sitting here.
Yeah, but I want something long that I don't have to get too close. I'm gonna pick one up and just kind of phase it into somebody.
Yeah, Jessica's just gonna run up and lead with her fists into Anaconda.
Okay, so as everybody charges, and we have this group that appears to have been harvesting organs of potential supers here in the Amber House, I will let everyone attack with whatever they feel is necessary. Fists, roll me fists, Jessica. With your phasing, roll me your attack. You have a phase attack. So roll those macros as you are going to go into the people. Roll your web shooter attack, Spidey, as you launch yourself into.
Would that be a
Death
charge?
Adder. No, just go ahead and roll your attack. We're doing a base with everything, so it just gives me the pool from the column.
I'm gonna use one of my advantages on my phase attack. On, let's say the thin guy.
Boom.
Daredevil looks over to Richards and says, "Throw me."
I turn my fingers into a slingshot and like a sling, and whip him around a couple times and throw him into the room.
Awesome.
He launches head first towards, and his goal is to just, I'm not going for like a baton attack. This is his martial arts, his slam attack. Who's the bigger of the 2 targets?
Anaconda, the one that Jessica Jones is going at as well. So if the 2 of you want to hit Anaconda, I believe the other 2 were on Death Adder. So here's what I want from Reed. Reed, roll me a strength, not a strength. I want you to roll me an agility, and we're going to give you several column shifts to the right that I'll manually do. You just go ahead and roll your agility, and I'll put it onto the table because your use of your ability is monstrous. So we'll put it onto the monstrous table as you whip DD into the fray. Okay, but that's a 25 on the monstrous. Is still going to be a green. And as you throw Daredevil into the fray, you're coming in, and I need you to do 2 column shifts to the right for whatever attack you would like to do with your slam. Dawn and Jessica, with your fists as you came in. Oh! 96 for a slam. So, Jessica, here's what I want you to do. Describe to me how, at the same time, Daredevil and Jessica hit this huge woman and send her flying back 10 feet. So the 2 of you joint narrate this one.
Sure. I think Jessica ran in first and just kind of came in fists first to like elbow her, just crack her in at the neck with her like forearm to just like start to throw her, and whatever Daredevil does coming in, being
He comes
thrown.
in. Yeah, he comes in over her shoulder as she's being thrown through the air, Anaconda, being slingshotted forward by Reed Richards. Daredevil stretches out his arm, rolls his shoulder forward, and tries to slam attack her into the back of this vehicle, into this this lift or whatever it is. And with a red result, I think she's stunned. I think that's what happens.
Yeah, so you do exactly that. You're able to grab her and redirect from Jessica's smash. And Jessica, as you connect with your elbow into her jaw, you feel something give, as whatever was beneath the skin has moved to a position it shouldn't be in. And she immediately, as she gets hit and then gets flipped again, smashing into this hovering pad filled with jarred organs. And as she hits and they shatter around her, she is covered in the product of her pain. And as she looks up, she stares at the two of you. Heroes always find out. I know, Kitty, you missed Death Adder, but Spidey, you hit,
No,
right?
I re-rolled it. I hit.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was fast and furious there.
It was. I did hit him.
Okay, so what we will say is the material that you used was good material. And so as you hit with, I'm assuming, describe to us what you do with the IV stand.
She doesn't want to get too close because Professor Xavier always teaches us that violence should be the last resolution to a conflict. So she's kind of
wait. Does Kitty believe that?
Well, normally she's kind of iffy, but she's trying to be a good example as she's dying to get out of the junior X-Men and into the real X-Men, and this is her first solo job, and she wants to try to be good. So she's just gonna grab the IV stand and just kind of shove it into him and let go, and then kind of go back for another IV stand.
So
like you phased it through him.
Yeah.
Can I grab the IV stand and flip him and throw him? When she lets it through, can I get a hold of it and just
you
boom,
both
like
succeeded,
that?
so you can both joint narrate this, but I will leave it at this. When you push this insubstantial IV stand through Death Adder, he looks down and you can see that his teeth have been filed to points. He looks down and sees it, and he turns up and smiles, and as soon as you let go and it solidifies, you see him go, oh shit, as something that was not in him has now occupied a space where his organs used to be. And
he's in for a rude awakening.
As this occurs,
Spidey. Autopsies.
Yep, Spidey, you are on top of him. And Spidey, just as you grab to do your attack, and I'll let you tell exactly what you do to it, he looks you in the eye through these filed, gritted teeth. Heroes always find out.
What did he say?
Heroes always find out.
Oh.
Fisk said the same thing. What's it mean?
I don't get it, but it doesn't feel nice to have your organs displaced, does it?
Yeah, what the hell does that mean?
Spidey just kind of as he spring shots himself in from the webs, and he sees Kitty materialize the thing. He's going to grab both ends of the IV stand, and he's just going to woof like that, just flipping right over his body. He says, "You're a monster," and just launch him into whatever, into the wall.
As you flip him over and a scream goes out that is almost inhuman because of the pain that the two of you have just added to this gentleman, we're going to say that with the strikes that both hit there and Spider-Man's just base, Death Adder hits the wall, crumples, and is KO'd. He may very well get up to live and fight another day, but it ain't this day. Reed, as you see your team of 5, which is odd in its perception, striking with a precision that belies strangers, you notice that the ghost is looking toward you. It's true. You heroes always find out.
It's what we do.
We're
And
not
then
really heroes.
Reed stretches out into a giant blanket and tries to smother the ghost.
And as you flip out and wrap up this ghost, you see it become and feel it become as insubstantial as Shadowcat as it passes through, but not before the face or where the face would be of this creature passes by you. Huh. You win this day, Mr. Fantastic. And it's gone. As soon as it disappears, you see Anaconda's eyes roll into the back of her head, and she passes out.
Hold my hand out to Spider-Man for a high five. That's what we did was awesome.
Jessica looks to Reed Richards. Friend of yours?
Who was that guy?
Do I recognize the face?
You can roll me an intuition.
I didn't like the way it felt like he was looking at me.
High five, Jess. High five.
No.
Okay.
There's something about the voice, Reed, but you can't place it.
I don't know, and it's killing me.
Hopefully not literally. I mean, there was a lot of autopsies done here, but... Oh! I'm gonna look around and see if I can find any paperwork that might give me a clue as to where Connor might be.
Whatever it was, it seems to have disappeared, but I believe it was controlling these two.
Maybe. No one's gonna be controlling them for a little while.
Upon discovery and Shadowcat, as you go to look, you can't find anything that matches Connor. No hide nor hair, no indication, or just nothing even, nothing splayed out, nothing on the persons of either Adder or Anaconda. And when you all are looking around, you do realize that in these jars are the exact number of organs that would have been taken from the 3 autopsy victims below. The pad itself is supported by some type of anti-gravity device. It floats about 6 inches off the ground. It seems to be little more than a wheelbarrow, maybe. But it had been loaded with these jarred organs, many of which were shattered by Anaconda's crash.
I'm never gonna get out of the Junior X-Men.
If we take like a I don't know, like a little piece of rubble or something and throw it into that anti-gravity field, does it float up and hit the ceiling? What happens to it?
It doesn't seem that there's any effect above the area. It seems like it always maintains a 6-inch float above whatever is below it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The
If you
pad
put it on a
itself.
tabletop, it'll float 6 inches.
Floating disc.
Should we get a doctor? Should we get somebody to help? We need to get help here.
These people are beyond the help of a doctor.
They're all dead. Doctor's not going to do shit.
Can Reed discern the craftsmanship or who made the anti-gravity wheelbarrow sled?
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me, roll me a reason.
Jessica's going to jump on it and see what happens.
Jessica floats.
I float 6 inches above the ground to meet her.
Yeah, Reed, you look at it and I'll give you this much. It has various components from all over the place. You see AIM Technologies and Stark Industries, just a myriad of hodgepodge devices. It's not particularly well constructed, but you don't know what's allowing it to float. That is pretty high level tech. And to be using it for something just like a wheelbarrow seems almost, it doesn't make sense that these low-powered thugs have a high-tech wheelbarrow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
what kind of...
It's a hodgepodge Frankenstein of a device.
Ooh, let me see. I want to look in case Professor X has talked about something like this with one of the X-Men's recent jobs.
And since she's standing on it, Jessica's going to kind of crouch down and take a look and see if there's any kind of emblems or anything that might mark it as something, or any sign of something being scratched off
I'll use an
that might be
advantage,
recognizable.
or a reroll.
Sure thing. Yeah, anybody doing so can roll me a
It'll spend
intuition
karma.
or reason.
Fighty will start searching the room. Like he's going to start looking around, crawling around, seeing what he can find, where they were going.
Absolutely. Ooh.
Good
Kitty,
Yeah.
when you and Jessica are kind of...
Oh,
both
there we
look-
go. I'm glad I had the reroll. 97, please.
Okay. When the two of you are looking, it's combined movement where looking for something that's been removed and then looking for something that is familiar led you both almost, your fingers kind of touch at the same point, at the same moment, as the two of you are looking at this grav sled. And as you both look, you see that something hasn't been scratched out, but something has been scratched on. And it says, "The heroes always find out."
This phrase.
The hell is with this stupid phrase?
Heroes always find out.
Well, we do.
Let's find out.
Once everything sort of quiets down and people are looking around, is there any sound of any other heartbeats, anyone else that might be presenting themselves in the building or nearby?
Roll me an intuition.
What if this was just what's-his-face's excuse to actually get rid of us?
You don't hear anything. This is a tomb.
This doesn't smell or look like Fisk. I don't know what it takes to do this to a man, to all these people. What kind of monster you gotta be, but I don't think you can be human.
Maybe it was that ghost guy.
Well, he was hanging around, using those two. She kind of nods to Anaconda and
Should definitely ask them some
Matter.
questions when they wake up. Oh, I should remove this, and I'll go over and I'll phase the IV stand out of.
Yeah, he starts bleeding pretty bad.
Oh,
You do that.
maybe I
It
should
might-
put it back in. Oh, I don't know.
That might make it
Just-
worse.
Yeah, I'll just leave it.
It shoots him with webs. Like shoots the
Oh,
wound
band-aids! Great.
to stop
He's-
the bleeding.
He's fine now.
totally fine, I'm sure.
That's how medicine
I
works.
I just felt like maybe it
Definitely.
wasn't a good idea to leave it in. I wanted to ask
Yeah.
the questions later.
I
Now,
was
see, when
thinking
I
about
asked
going
if
to
somebody had medical experience, Peter should have said something. I feel personally attacked.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just put this bottle of Advil next to him. He'll be fine.
Just a little painkiller. That'll do the job.
Peter does start taking pictures.
Okay. Peter would also know that many of these will not be of use for the Daily Bugle because
Right.
of the graphic nature of their content.
Right, of course. Just for our new team's use.
Oh, Mr. Fantastic, since we can't really find anything on these guys, let's get this phrase. I saw this. I found this in the basement. I'm gonna pull out that TV guide. I was just wondering if you could sign this for me, please.
Oh, did you find the one who shot JR?
What?
Later, dear. Later. But of
Okay.
course.
Okay, thank you. You're just never gonna like my fellow students are never gonna believe you. I said I fought some bad guys with Mr. Fantastic.
This is beyond the police. This is beyond. Someone's got to come in here and take a look at this and figure out what happened. This seems like, well, Mr. Fantastic, this seems like a job for S.H.I.E.L.D., to be honest.
Indeed. I need to report back to them. But we should bind these two in case they
Yes.
wake up. And
Maybe bring them back to the old SHIELD facility.
Spider-Man kind of webs them
Exactly what
both
I
up.
was
I
gonna
can.
Might as well.
most of them have a containment facility that should hold these two.
I hope they remember what happened to them. If they were controlled like you suggested, they might not know what happened.
Now, when they wake up,
Still, we should question them.
we definitely. I think we gotta look up this phrase. Maybe there's some kind of
Can we get out of here?
Action. Yeah, it stinks. I'll just kind of pick one up and just drop through the floor down to the ground level.
Don't
Grab
go
it.
with. If she ever offers to let you phase with her, I highly recommend you don't do that.
Oh, you didn't like it?
It was not.
It's creepy.
It was weird.
It was really weird.
Creepy.
So you all are able to get these two over to the other side of the street into the shield facility as the blizzard takes full effect. When you are over there and you get them bound, when they wake up, they don't know where they are or why they're there. But even throughout the normalcy of an interrogation, there are no shield members here, save Reed Richards. And they will shake their heads occasionally and just say that heroes always find out.
Is
And then
that
they'll-
written anywhere on the facility? Because you said there's a bunch of anti-mutant propaganda. Is that phrase written anywhere?
Roll me an intuition check.
Using another advantage. Oop, I gotta set my token first. There we go. Yep. I'm not very intuitive today. Nope.
You're looking around to see if maybe there's a way that this matches up, or if it you can see that there's this phrase across the graffiti. And as you're looking, you hear a whisper from the shadows. Is it okay?
Connor?
You see the shadow in the corner bleed together into a little boy. Who are you?
Hi, my name's Kitty Pryde, and I'm a representative from Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Children.
He
I'm
hugs
here to
you.
Okay, you hold back. Everything's gonna be a-okay. We've got Mr. Fantastic here, and Spider-Man, who's really nice, don't believe the newspapers, and some other very nice people who like everybody. And she kind of like glances at Jessica, and we're gonna make sure you're safe and sound, and we're gonna take you back to the school, okay? Do you know what happened here?
He nods over towards Anaconda and Death Adder. They came.
Then what happened?
He shrugs.
Shrugs. Okay.
The
They're
heroes
there.
always find out, though. So I know you'd find out.
Did you hear them saying that, or did someone else tell you that?
You see his absolutely jet black eyes, the orb and everything. You see them lull and look up as if he's thinking. I heard them say it, but you're not sure he does. I'm not sure if you believe that.
Okay.
What's the next plan, Reed?
I need to get in touch with S.H.I.E.L.D. from here.
I'll let Professor X know what's going on.
Yes, but the four of you, I need a way to contact you in the future. We haven't finished solving this. It's going to need more research on my part.
You gonna pay me?
If that's what it takes.
Yes,
certainly
we're a
could.
team.
She throws down a business card.
Well, if you can, I generally am at the school, so if you know how to contact Professor Xavier, I'll just write down like the school's like public to like the telephone number. Like,
Grim
this is
Walken
how
Lane,
you,
right?
yeah.
Work under alias investigations. That's all you need to know. You can figure it out.
All right.
I'll come to you, Reed.
You do that, Spidey.
Yeah.
And we can hang.
You should come by the school sometime. No one is going
I've
to
been
believe me.
meaning to for some time now. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah,
Hard pass.
it's really fun. You learn a lot.
He turns to Daredevil. And what about you? How will I find you?
You won't. I'm sorry, but this isn't. I can't do this. Not this one.
BD, we need you, buddy.
What are we even doing? What are we talking about here? This is what's even happening.
And that's precisely what I intend to find out.
Yeah, well, you do your homework. I've got a case I need to go wrap now that I know what happened to her.
Connor, back to the house.
I'll take these two to the police station.
Yeah, you do that.
Good idea.
I'm gonna get you. I've seen snapping pictures. I'm like, can we get a picture of you, like, grabbing them? Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
at the back. Okay, yeah.
Spider-Man plays along with it. He picks them both up. Yeah. Look, I got super villains.
Yeah.
So as the pictures are taken,
I
and
get
Mr.
my autograph.
Fantastic and Jessica Jones and Spider-Man and Shadowcat and her new ward disappear out into the blizzard of New York, what happens to Daredevil?
He stays back in the building in the doorway where he started the night for a while. He's staring down, even though he can't see it, where the first body was, thinking about the procession of events, how incredibly uneven he feels. This phrase being whispered that there's some sort of manipulation or greater game going on. And he thinks to himself that he doesn't want to be a pawn again. He doesn't want to make the wrong decision and hurt someone because he thinks that he has the right to be the devil of Hell's Kitchen. And he's lost a lot in the last few weeks. In this event, the organs, all of the dead people, the missing kid. For a while, this has been the straw that breaks the camel's back. And as he finally turns and heads out into the snow, into a side alleyway, he rolls up his mask and pulls it off, and he drops it into the snow. And he thinks to himself, I've got to do this the right way. Got to do this through the law. All being a vigilante is done, get people hurt. I can't do it anymore. And though, of course, he will not stick to that, at least for tonight. That's how he feels as he walks off.
And as the devil of Hell's Kitchen, or Matthew Murdoch, walks through Hell's Kitchen, we will sneak away for just one last moment. A green-skinned face looks over its shoulder, deeper into the shadowed room. The heroes found them. Of course they did. They always find them. Unless they believe they've already found what they're looking for. Precisely. Richards will uncover it at some point. He's too passive to let the itch in his brain go. The green-skinned figure looks deeper into the shadows at the voice. But if he suspects, it won't take him long to realize. And the green arm pulls up a jar with a kidney in it. That those organs will not, the true ones, that we have the gifts of the old ones. And in the shadows there is a chuckle. And forward leans a face, smashed with iron, surrounded by a green hood.
My dear Mesmero, that is precisely what I am counting on.
And as Victor Von Doom leans back into the shadows, so we end our tale. Bring everybody back in. Yay! Awesome, everyone. Let's do outros, but we are not promoting ourselves, as this is for the Multiple Sclerosis Society. The links for that institution will accompany the video for this, as it will the YouTube that is to come, and any subsequent tweets that we send out. Anything that is put forward at this point forward will aid that noble cause. But let's go around and talk to everybody. And first, I will talk to Lindy. Lindy, how are you doing? Yay!
Hi, I'm doing super spiffy. That was so much fun. I liked the synergy of this group. We had two like real gung-ho enthusiastic youngins. We had like the two grumpy skeptical people, and then the experienced mediator. It just worked so well. I really liked how we approached all the conflicts and solved things and figured out stuff. I thought it was super duper fun. You can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy, doing all sorts of TTRPG stuff all over the internets, Twitches, Twitters, all that good stuff. Follow me on there and find out when it's going live.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And let's jump over to Steve. Steve, Spidey, how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, this was a dream come true. I want to appreciate everybody. Thank you for making me a part of this. GH, Dawn. This is a great cause for MS. Please, thank you for all the donations. Thank you to chat. This was just fantastic. I had a lot of fun, and I sure as hell loved fighting Taskmaster and kicking the shit out of Anaconda and Death Adder. Like literally in one round, they were done and done. So I hope that we get to play this again with this group, because I had a blast. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. And let's go straight up to our own Jess, who's playing Jessica Jones. How are you? And
Good.
Where can we find you online and all of that fun stuff?
Yeah, so in a slightly meta turn, yes, my real name is Jess. And I am playing Jessica Jones. This was amazing and super fun. I so enjoyed it. And Lindy's right, this team had a weirdly good synergy for a very random superhero team up. Yeah, you can find me at Little Cup of Joe on Twitch and Twitter, doing all sorts of stuff.
Fantastic, fantastic. And we jump up to the fantastic one himself. Actual Slack, how are you doing, my friend? And where can we find you online?
I'm doing fantastic as Mr. Fantastic. I've had such a great time being a superhero with you guys. You can find me online on Twitch and Twitter at Actual Slack. And don't forget that you too can be a superhero right now. If you look in the chat, Jonathan Fry has put a link to the National MS Society, and that's what it's all about. We're raising a little money today, so it's your last shot to get in. Go ahead and get in now while you can. So excited to be a part of this, and I'll see you guys soon.
Fantastic, my friend. And last but certainly not least, Don, how are you doing? And how is it to be actually pretty much legally blind for the last 3 hours as you attempted to work a computer and fun things like that? I know that I am feeling the same thing looking through Stan's glasses. So how are you, bud?
Oh man, I'm great. I had a great time. I did, when I just rolled up my mask just a couple of seconds ago, I did kind of go blind for a second. It was a big shock. No, I had a really great time. And I'm just really grateful that you guys all did this, that we got to play, and hopefully we'll get to play again. I grew up playing this game when I was a kid, like around the same time that I started playing D&D. I was playing Marvel Heroes, and I still think it's a really, really fun system, and it's just fun to play characters that you've grown up with and you've read comics about, and everybody knows what makes those characters, and I think that's really cool. And we're doing this today for the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, which is just it's a really incredible charity. There are a lot of amazing charities in the world, but they really are one of the very best. And without going into it too much, I recently lost somebody very, very important to me to multiple sclerosis at a much younger age than anybody should pass. And it's been weighing on me a lot, but I've had a lot of great support from a lot of awesome friends, and this means a lot. So for everyone who donated, everybody who supported us and hung out and had some fun tonight, thank you so much. I'm very grateful for you. I'm very grateful for all these folks for putting on awesome costumes and having a bunch of fun tonight. I had such a great time, and Greg, especially thank you to you for resurrecting a system that Roll20 and people haven't seen in a long time. You brought it back, and it was a blast. And I know you put a lot of work into this, and I'm very, very thankful for that.
Oh, well, thanks, bud. And I apologize for whatever was going on. I'm sure it's my internet because of the storm and everything, and I hate that. I hate when we would drop in the middle of stuff. And my macros and Roll20 froze about an hour and a half ago. So I have been literally, I put in a D100 macro that somehow worked, but all those ones that I'd put in did nothing for me. Son of a bitch. But I appreciate these people so much. Thank you all for being here. Dawn said it best. Just contribute and support if you can, but being here is a ton of support. We appreciate you. Coming up in just 45 minutes, we have the premiere of Wild Blue Yonder, which is Lauren, That's Salty Ginger's awesome brother. Lauren, That's Salty Ginger's brand new premiere episode of her Lady Blackbird campaign. A lot of really fun people in that. It's going to be a great run. And with Lauren at the wheel, it should be absolutely fantastic. And I cannot wait to experience it. So come back here in 45 minutes and take another little ride into space with us. It should be fun. But until then, we normally have something that we say, but I think I'll end it with this tonight. Unless somebody else has something to say, it's better to burn out than fade away. Then I will just say this: thank you for sticking around through the technical difficulties, and just remember, the heroes always find out.